It's news hour on Aflao Tv, the heart of Africa. We are transmitting from Avoime Aflao in the Ketu South municipality of the Volta region. You can get us on Facebook, YouTube, and other social media platforms. Our doors are open to the general public for sponsorships. In this edition of the bulletin, publisher of History of Ghana textbooks apologized for his offensive publication. Volta Regional House of Chiefs condemns derogatory content of the history books. Burial has taken place at Apam in the central region for the 13 children drowned in the sea a week ago. Government has again assured Ghanaians that doomsday is not looming. In international news, Ugandan police have arrested Bobi Wine amid firing of tear gas. Have you seen a 3-year-old boy become a talented drummer? Take a look at this clip. Stay tuned for that interesting video at the tail end of the bulletin. I am Gauga Vicentia. We will be right back after this break. Now the stories in detail. The publisher of the new History of Ghana textbooks, which have some chapters describing a West as inward-looking, has rendered an unqualified apology for the offensive publication. Mr. Bedouin Kansa said the history textbook, which was published based on the new curriculum by the National Council for Curriculum Assessment, when submitted for assessment, received responses from NACCA raising concerns with certain portions of the book. According to Mr. Nkansa, his team was told to work on certain aspects of the book further in order for it to meet the expectations of the new curriculum.
It is not a deliberate attempt to berate such a huge section of our society. We wish to unreservedly apologize for the slip. The statement read further. Bedu Nkansa noted that his brand stands for national unity, adding that his team is investigating the issue to ascertain how the draft found its way to the market. We will make the results of our investigations public when we are done. Meanwhile, the copies in circulation have been recalled with immediate effect since it has not yet met the final approval threshold. The controversial textbooks receiving criticism for their depiction of areas have not been approved for use in schools. The National Council for Curriculum Assessment has said. In an earlier statement, the council had asked one of the publishers of the books, Bedu Nkansa Publications, to withdraw its book, which was noted to feature a song that depicts the Ewe identity. The said books are also not listed on the council's website among other approved books for academic work. The contents of the books sparked criticism on social media from members of the Ewe ethnic group who criticized the stereotypes. The North Town MP Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa has filed an urgent question in Parliament for the Education Minister Dr. Osei Adutum To answer questions on the matter, Mr. Okujeto Ablakwa described the books as bigoted.
The Volta Regional House of Chiefs has condemned what is described as offensive publication and material against all Ewe-speaking citizens of Ghana. A statement issued by the House and signed by its president and paramount chief of the Amfoigal traditional area, Togbi Tepre Hodo IV, said the attention of the Volta Regional House of Chiefs have been drawn to the contents of a book designed for use by lower classes in the current educational structure. Some of the contents of the said book, which cast derogatory allusion and innuendos at Ewe, are, to say the least, distasteful and a disgrace to the authors and the publishers of the said material intended to educate the younger generation of this country. According to Togbi Tepre Hodo, the chiefs deem it highly reprehensible for those responsible for this offensive publication to harbor such vile thoughts about their fellow citizens of Ghana in the 21st century. The House therefore unreservedly condemned this singular demonstration of tribal bigotry and prejudice and called on those responsible for the offensive publication to withdraw same from circulation and to destroy every part of the offending material. We further demand an unqualified apology from the authors and publishers of this base material to be rendered to all Ewe-speaking citizens of Ghana. In addition, we urge other ethnic groups in this country to condemn such divisive publication, which only serve as a recipe for chaos and disunity. Finally, and in the event that this ill-advised publication is discovered anywhere after our demand for same to be withdrawn for circulation, we thereby serve notice that the chiefs and people of Ewe ethnic origin will take appropriate legal measures to ensure that these mischief makers walk on the right side of the law. The people of Apam in the Gomwa West district in the central region of Ghana have performed a mass burial rite for the 13 teenagers who drowned in the Atlantic Ocean in the Apam beach tragically on Sunday, March 7, 2021. The children were on a swimming expedition when they lost their lives. The 13 corpses were laid in state on March 16, where the whole township gathered in their numbers to mourn the loss of these young people. Many of the mourners could not help but landed in their tears during the event.
The presidential representative, member of parliament for Ewutu Senya East, and minister for fisheries and aquaculture, Mavis Hawakumson, could be seen by the witnesses weeping when the bodies were laid in state. The Apam township has seen its most tragic day in recent days when 13 teenagers aged between 12 and 19 drowned in the sea during a swimming expedition on March 7, 2021. According to reports, the teenagers went swimming and were reportedly missing. However, a search party soon realized that they were carried away by the ocean current, leading to their sad and sudden death. Another party was quickly sent to the sea, where 13 dead bodies were retrieved from the ocean.
The Accra Circuit Court 10 has discharged leader of the Economic Fighters League, Ernesto Yeboah, of charges of breach of the public order law. This follows the Republic withdrawal of the charges against the outspoken campaigner for national economic liberation. Ernesto Yeboah was arrested and charged with breaching the Public Order Act following a June 1, 2021 vigil held in honor of 46-year-old American George Floyd, who was killed by Minnesota police under bizarre circumstances.
The incident attracted global condemnation in which governments, including the government of Ghana, spoke in unison against the ills of racist-induced police brutality. Ghana's Economic Fighters League joined in this global action dubbed Black Lives Matter, with a vigil at the Independence Square, which was disrupted by police on the night. The Ghana Police Service had accused the movement of non-compliance with provisions of the Public Order Act, which require police notification prior to such gatherings. Even though the movement insisted it had served the police with the required prior notification, police sources said the said notification had not reached the police at the time of the vigil. In court on Monday, March 15, 2021, however, prosecutor Chief Inspector Emmanuel Haliga told the court that the state was no longer interested in pursuing the charges. Though reasons were not immediately assigned for the state's sudden move after 9 months of prosecution, the court went ahead to strike out the case as brought by the state. Meanwhile, campaigners had started mounting pressure on the state against the prosecution. Sources say petitions had already been sent to government on the matter. It is, however, not clear whether the mounting international pressure is the reason for the withdrawal of charges.
The creative and captivating Akwaaba portrait is a familiar one that has been in the Ghanaian scene since the 1990s. The then 18-year-old lady, beautifully clothed in one of Ghana's rich and unique kente fabrics, has grown over the years to become 39 years. Do you know this beautiful lady behind this welcome portrait? Take a view of Nana Ekwia Odro, the lady behind this rich culture portrait of Mother Ghana.
Nana Ekwia Odro is now seen in the homes of people, at hotels, offices, airports and many more. Though she has grown over the years to be 39 years now, she is proud and exceptionally happy about how much good her little artwork had done for the country for the past 2 decades or so. Carefully clad with beads and a well-styled scarf to match with her charming smile to complement, she posed with a gourd, which contains that is palm wine that Nana Ekwia Odro carefully poured out into a calabash clasped in her second hand. 20 years later, what has come to be known as the Akwaaba portrait has traveled many years and through many countries and borders to sell Ghana as a country whose people are warming, welcoming and hospitable. Today, Ekwia's wish is simple. She needs recognition for the work she has done some 20 years ago. I make an appeal to meet the President and the Minister of Tourism because it is my face, it is my picture that is being used, but I am not being recognized.
To meet the President and the Minister of Tourism because it's my face, my picture that's being used, but I'm not being recognized.
Government has dispelled the suggestion of a return to Dumsor following weeks of incessant power outages in the country. Government has been heavily criticized by members of the public who are demanding the truth about the state of energy sector, with some calling on the government to release a load shedding schedule to salvage the situation. We want consistency in the power supply. We don't want Dumsor to come back, but if for some reason it is, let us know the schedule so we will plan accordingly and stop destroying our electrical gadgets. When Nana Addo came to power, didn't he say he has solved the Dumsor So what is happening now were some of the comments from a session of Ghanaians.
Reacting to the concern, however, a representative of the president at the Finance Ministry, Charles Edubuahin, insists that despite the recent power outages experienced by Ghanaians in some parts of the country is not returning to the doomsday era. Mr. Edubuahin, who was speaking to Multimedia's MFA Ampao on the probe on Sunday, March 14, 2021, said, "Our biggest challenge with the energy situation is the excess capacity charge." According to him, the country's capacity is slightly lower than 5,000 megawatts, adding that the country's peak demand is about 3,000 megawatts, while there are 2,000 megawatts in excess capacity. In terms of the reliability of power, there was a recent incident with Gridco where there was a system shutdown. I also think the other issue may be on the gas supply, he further stated. Mr. Edubuahin insisted there is no energy crisis looming, that I can reassure you.
A short but colorful ceremony has been held at Avenofeme in the Akachi South Municipality of the Volta region to install an idol known as Freeman Nukoku Ajongaga in line with the customs and traditions of the people. The idol, which belongs to one Togbi Bendo of Avenofeme, is one of the several gods worshipped and respected by the members of the African traditional religion across Ghana and beyond. Portia Aye and Sarah Dikro were there for Aflao TV.
The installation of the Freeman Koku idol saw the display of the rich culture and customs of the members of the African traditional religion. The event was graced by the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Aflao TV, Togbi Jakpata I, other priests and priestesses, colleague chiefs, as well as dignitaries from all walks of life. The occasion was characterized by the performance of several rituals, drumming and dancing, slaughtering of different animals, as well as the display of bravery and discipline, which form some aspects of the culture of the people. Togbi Jakpata I, who chaired the ceremony, explained his support to Togbi Bendo in the installation of the idol.
Abanya tepe agba mi dogola Togbi Bendo bo onya tepe awaba akpoto reva dashina Freeman Koku la bonye ko akpo foju abodo ona ko anamanya bele foju odo ni la nyama ba li foju ani ko nya tepe maba honkeke ko chocho zama ba mi ashimi atohuno yemi va dogo ta cho zanjimi no ko foju abanchi de shadow agbe mi tulana fojua enya san ikadu mi lo try mi popon lo.
Togbi Bendo, who confessed to benefiting from the Koku idol, also spoke to our news team.
Mia Togbi Jakpata. Simaje mato taroma jota na Togbi Jakpata. Habli bani. Yo tono na Freeman Koku voduma. Yo oga. Madu vodua lagbo. Madu du lagbo vo. Haga tue. Ebie va awo. Kofonya Togbi Jakpata. Nana vodua ala home edi dimno. Amma Togbi de share komragba. Susuma tare. Na jora chon patasha ma fudu abagbo. Aroma yo vodu tona. Nanya ntore no tere nchinyere. Aro la fama na de. Ya na mala nyimra fama dolo hakro ma ya ma yo vodu koro ma vata ma no nkro vodu adigana. Do la bala kana chofo atokpo hlanchi na susuma tema je Togbi Jakpata ji. Ye ma du vodu la bo to vodu chocho nam. Da vodu wonam emye ha ko togo la agbama. Susuma te na po amola pasa chika
The financial secretary of the Psychic and African Herbal Healers Association, Togbi Zauze, noted that the importance of idols to the sustenance of mankind cannot be overemphasized.
Ani ba ji so mi na ha tron vadu onya ati ona la mi agbo ha tron onya afi tron wo yoko opokramia o hala ni ba ji a o la vadu ya mata ni mu won ko ni kra na vadu mo ani ba na vadu a o ada kuku no ba wu yo ko ni alare o kata no ba pere mi ahun dagbe onye dagbe na mi ta na mi nyepo mo o je kura ni gba ha o ji mboko Nasara Gapuema, why you chum, oh, a Tanyamuna Niba, over Jokram, Unkurum of Joji the Karakaka, Hafiatu, Kokua, a young Miomela, over Johame, Modamba Nova, Okudam Nova, Nova Quara, Nogata, no, Nanamo Lema.
One of the fetish priests from Asante Akim in the Ashanti region, Togbi Egle, as well as the president and founder of PAHA, Togbi Gbeti Mujo of Anyako in the Keta municipality, used the occasion to touch on some cultural values and customs, in addition to emphasizing the fact that truth and honesty are some values no one can take away from members of the African traditional religion.
Yemi ko to me na mo jodoa ekupara nyanya kula manchi amai ashibama mo nyoni o agbegba mo nyoni wa bodu ko pupa so agea bodu ma hama fokpa to do eko nya because afokpa ti lo na digere kafla ndo afagara enukwa manyu o enukwa nko kwe onya amo mo segomo eko ba manyu
the kawa wa la nyagba kple togbi bendo nana jakpata togbi zeuze kple bubuwo kata doma nita wo le be ma va fia to gbo ba kokunu mo le ha evu ya ko mo le kple bubu yo kata fo mi le o kata wo le kokua me ye holo nyenye kple velia nyenye ta ele be ma va fia wo no plio evu yi fo mo le to ma ba jobi kpena anya jobu la be koku vu ne anya vu ara ike edzo le me nana kamera la regbo na electron ya gbo a mo igaba nu fitifiti ada ko mo ala ba malo nu gbegbelo ya ta na apo ya won to tadi akoshisire mu adoju onu zozo meme na la nkore di ko na ke mo go kaka na la nkore di ojo fi agafia ita wo yon ko ba jobi pero jobi pa ali ha alo si alo mi apa tro gble amanyela ankore didi iko mi edama na mama no mia na mi kata mi tro ho la ba tro ho go mi la o ma lo ba na bla bora me gbana ba reko o ma lo ba na onu 50-50 areko ayata mi ko saba na mi le mo a anyo mi no Kristo mo la ba Kristo ma na no nyi na onu gbagba da ugbo ba ma ugbo ige na la fia ho fia chocho kaka tro ho go mi la nu maka ina fia chocho ho ga.
We now go for a short break. Stay tuned for more stories after this break. Welcome back from that break. Now your word of entertainment. Ghanaian broadcaster Sewa Emihe does not think marriage is the most important thing in life. According to her, there are more important things that deserve attention in life. In her view, a woman who is 31 just like her herself and yet single should not be a big deal. This was the GH1 TV presenter's reply to many who criticized her for failing to marry. These comments came in droves when Sewa Emihe celebrated her 31st birthday on 8th March 2021.
Sewa Amihe said on Facebook and other social media platforms that she prefers to be single and unmarried than to rush into an unhappy union. She wrote, "Every day go and marry as though it's the most important thing in life. You will be pushing women to end up in unhappy and abusive marriages," Sewa Amihe emphasized. After this post, Sewa Amihe had a comment from one blogger who said until she is married, everything she has acquired and achieved is meaningless. The blogger wrote, "What shall it profit a woman if she gains everything in life without a husband? A woman's glory is her husband." Sewa Amihe was clearly not happy with the comments from the blogger and advised him to refrain from thinking that marriage is a woman's honor. Sewa is part of a long list of successful female Ghanaian celebrities who are yet to marry.
Still on entertainment news, it appears that the intense rivalry between Starboy and Samini continues as these two musicians have once again had a go each at each other in what appears to be a new beef on social media. The two artists on Monday, March 15, 2021 engaged in a heated battle over Stoneboy's congratulatory comments to Nigerian artists Burna Boy and Wizkid for their Grammy Awards win. In what was meant to be a congratulatory message to these artists, Stoneboy asked Ghanaians to applaud their counterparts instead of acting bitter towards their win. He said for once Ghanaians should learn to congratulate Nigerians for consistently projecting Africa globally in terms of entertainment.
Peace Stoneboy wrote on Twitter, "With all due respect, let all other African nations give it up for Nigeria for their constant efforts in holding the matter for Africa when it comes to entertainment on the global scene." Stoneboy also congratulated Nigeria for holding it down at the recent Grammys award. But obviously irritated about Stoneboy's comments, Samini in a sharp rebuttal said, "Ghana will be okay if we begin to keep its 100-point signboard with each other as artists, my G. It starts from being honest and calling a spade a spade. Do you think they disrespect Idibia like you disrespect Samini? Before you give extra fake fans to Nigeria, check yourself, faker." Stoneboy in a response asked Samini to utter such words to him physically instead of acting cowardly on Twitter. He has for that matter declined to engage in any form of social media beef with the artist henceforth. "No disrespect, you just finished a Twitter beef with Shatta. It's my turn now," Stoneboy asked. "We know each other personally. I cannot do this with you on social media," he wrote. Responding to Stoneboy's Twitter, Samini tweeted again saying, "You know you can't throw that into anyone's eyes, my son. You know exactly where I'm coming from. Don't trash Ghana in congratulating Nigeria because they don't disrespect their legends like you do, period. A word to the wise is enough. Shatawale is a mate, you are a son. Get the difference. You disappointed me, son."
We go for a short commercial break. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back from that break. Now international news. A Cameroonian female journalist who was kidnapped over the weekend had been freed after a ransom was paid to her captors. Fami Bonyo Aise, who works for the state broadcaster CRTV, was abducted by gunmen from her home in a city of Bue, in the country's English-speaking area, on Saturday evening and had until midnight on Sunday.
The captors has demanded more than $18,000 or its equivalent of £13,000 for her release. Ms. Ice told the BBC in an interview that she doesn't know exactly how much her family later paid as ransom, but says the gunmen told her that her family had complied with their demands. No group has taken responsibility for the kidnapping, but it's suspected it could be the work of separatists who are very active in the region. Various journalists in Cameroon have described the kidnapping as despicable, and the Committee to Protect Journalists says it is relieved to hear of Ms. Ice's release.
Ugandan politician and former presidential candidate Robert Kyagulanyi, popularly known as Bobi Wine, has been arrested in the capital, Kampala. He was leading a team of members of parliament from his party, the National Unity Platform, in a protest against arrests and disappearances of supporters in the period leading up to, during, and after the highly contested January election.
Security forces have fired tear gas to disperse the crowd that was marching with the politicians. In a virtual address on Sunday, Bobi Wine called on his supporters to use peaceful means to protest against the election's results, which he continues to claim were rigged, and to demand that security forces produce their missing colleagues. His arrest from a campaign rally in November kicked off 2 days of protest, during which over 50 people died. Ugandan newspaper The Daily Monitor has tweeted pictures of Bobi Wine being arrested on Monday.
Still on international news, the Netherlands has become the latest country to suspend the use of the Oxford AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccine over concerns about possible side effects. The World Health Organization and the European Medicines Agency says there is no indication of a link between the vaccine and reports of blood clots. 8 countries have so far fully suspended the AstraZeneca vaccination. Cases of clotting in vaccinated people are no higher than the number seen in the general population, the EMA says.
About 70 million people in the EU and the UK have received a dose of the vaccine, with fewer than 40 cases of blood clots reported as of last week, AstraZeneca said. The Dutch government said its move, which will last until at least 29 March, was a precaution. The Irish Republic took similar action over blood clotting reports in Norway, Denmark, Norway, Bulgaria, Iceland, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Thailand have all suspended inoculations with the vaccine. Several European countries, including Italy and Austria, have suspended the use of certain batches of the drug as a precautionary measure. The EMA, which is currently carrying out a review into incidents of blood clots, said the vaccine will continue to be administered. In the UK, more than 11 million people have already received at least one dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine, and there has been no sign of excess deaths or blood clots occurring. Europe's drug regulator has also backed the vaccine, says its benefits are clear. In a statement, the Dutch government said it was acting out of precaution following reports from Denmark and Norway of possible Syria. In a statement, the Dutch government said it was acting out of precaution following reports from Denmark and Norway of possible serious side effects. The authorities had pre-ordered 12 million doses of AstraZeneca, with nearly 300,000 jabs scheduled in the next 2 weeks.
A 3-year-old boy has become a talented drummer. Parents are being urged to help bring out talent in their wards when discovered. We now go for a short break. Stay tuned. That's all we have for you today. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. Publishers of History of Ghana textbooks apologize for his offensive publication. Volta Regional House of Chiefs condemned derogatory content of the history books. Burial took place at Apam in the Central Region for the 13 children drowned in the sea a week ago. Government has assured Ghanaians that doomsday is not looming. Uganda police have arrested Bobby Wine amidst firing of tear gas. And we saw a 3-year-old boy who has become a champion drummer. My name is Gawuga Visesha. Thanks for watching.